Hi, I'm Tim Holtz. Yeah, I'm just a guy that loves to craft. It's the truth. Do I have a personal motto I live by? I think there's several. I think we go through life picking up little snippets that tend to resonate with our personality. And there's several that I like. Embrace imperfection is one of them. I think it's a really important kind of philosophy to think about. The ability to embrace the imperfect really allows freedom in so many ways. Creativity, for one. You don't have to create things that are always perfect. And get over yourself, as harsh as that is. That was the best piece of creative advice I've ever gotten, because I think so many times we can really get into our heads about making things and it's not right or it's not how we perceive it initially. And to kind of get over yourself and just explore is really, really rewarding. So that's been important. And I talk about the journey a lot, enjoy the journey. It's not just about traveling the world and seeing amazing places, but it's really about life's journey and enjoying that, enjoying every aspect of whatever it is that we do. And the creative process as well. Enjoy those parts of the creative journey and what you're doing and the moment that you're in. I didn't really see myself as a creative kid, but we didn't have a lot of money. So I do remember my mom, we would always make our Christmas gifts or make gifts, and we needed to kind of think of what we can do with what's around us, make something out of nothing. But from a really happy creative memory, I remember my art teacher in elementary school, Mrs. Patterman. She was awesome. She allowed us to think however we wanted to. There were no rules or definitions of what that meant to be creative. And I would say I was in about second grade, and we went down to the school lunchroom, and it was the bottom floor of our school, and we walked into the lunchroom in the cafeteria, and all of the tables were put away. They were all against the wall. And in the middle of the cafeteria, there was this mountain of sawdust, right? And as kids, we were like, what is that? So we got to sit around in a circle around this mountain of sawdust, and we were each given a bottle of school glue, a small little bottle of white glue. And she said, you could take that bottle of glue and squirt it all over this mountain. So really, a kid with a brand new bottle of glue. So we were just squirting it like crazy, like covering the whole mountain, and then went in and she said, all right, now go in with your hands and mix it up. Now it's a kid in the lunchroom, get to take your hands and go in and just start mixing around this sawdust with glue, and it just made this sticky mess. And she's like, make something, whatever comes to mind, make something out of this. And I remember I made a little teddy bear out of this sawdust and glue, make a little ball, and everything stuck together. And my mom still has this little bear. I hope she does. It's got to be somewhere. But I remember, and it's weird because I was in second grade, and I remember her saying, remember this, sometimes what you see as nothing could be anything. Really? That's just so cool to look at something that you don't think is really worthwhile. It could be anything you want to, just depends on your imagination. Because my creative thoughts are random, and I know that a lot of times it breaks the rules and it doesn't follow the art code sometimes of theory, but I'm okay with that. I'm good with it. I never really set out to be in the craft industry or to be a crafter. Through my high school years, I wanted to be a CPA. I wanted to be an accountant. I took college courses in high school because I was going to be an accountant. I knew that. That's what I wanted. And when I graduated high school, I didn't go to college right away. I didn't even go to college, period, in my life. It just, again, the journey took me in a different way. I got into the restaurant business. I had the opportunity to get into restaurant management very early, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the interaction with people, and in doing that, it was a really fast-paced kind of life, which was great. But after doing that for several years, over 8 years being in the restaurant business, you kind of hit a point where you're done. So I found a job working at a local craft store. It was a Ben Franklin Crafts. It was a little small independent store. Usually a guy in a craft environment, we're kind of the invisible person. The customer would walk in and walk right by me to ask another coworker because he wouldn't possibly know what he's doing. And I did that for about 6 months, and the store manager said, at the time, you need to go and learn about this rubber stamping and scrapbooking because we want to build a department in our store. You need to find out what those people do. And I wasn't interested. I wasn't intrigued. I actually said, no, I'm not going to go. And if you make me go, I'm going to quit. I don't want to do this. And that pivotal moment was when a coworker who had to go in my place called me that morning and said, you know what? I don't want to go down to this class either. Let's just go together. And I went down and took a class, and it changed my life. It did. The class was taught by a lady. Her name is Judy Ross. She came into the room and she said, how many people are ready to learn rubber stamping? And the students were all excited, and I was sitting in the back row rolling my eyes going, it's gonna be the longest day of my life. And it turned out that it was the best day of my life. She taught us about thinking for ourselves and just being creative. Whatever our definition of creative is, that's all she wanted us to do. And it gave me, I think, just a whole new opportunity. I mean, I left that class $350 later, spending it in that store. I was a stamper. I went back to the store excited about embossing and using inks and stamps, and something that I never thought I would be interested in. And had I not taken that opportunity to go down and learn that, who knows what I would be doing? Maybe I'd be doing your taxes. I have no idea. Obviously my background in the industry is ink and paint. Wasn't driven by tools or anything like that initially. You want to challenge with other things, and die cuts were always what I felt a great tool, because here is this thing that can cut a substrate, a surface that could be altered any different way. And what led me to Sizzix more than anything was their ability to cut things with steel rule die, because someone that is not just always a paper user, cutting up boxes and metal and leather and thick things, that was always my, fascination or attraction with Sizzix. But I will say, from a creative approach, I think as a designer, it makes you so lucky to be involved with a company like Sizzix, is that they're willing to support your creative process. The love of vintage, for me, I guess I don't know where it came from, but it's always been in me. I mean, yes, I had, I have a grandmother that, definitely had vintage things in her house, but I'm not sure if my love of vintage resonates from childhood memories like that. I think that what draws me to something vintage is that it has a story, it has a history, there's a nostalgia about it. Where was that thing used, and how long has it been around, and how has it traveled, and those sort of things. And I love also the imperfection of it, the chippy paint and the dings and the imperfection of vintage things. That's my attraction to it. The color palette, the texture. So that's really where I draw my inspiration for my creative process too. The layers and working with it. And I think the design elements of that is pretty cool. It's gonna have a story. Fantastic. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a goat. Stubborn, yes. Creative, they say, yes. But yeah, I am. Favorite tune to listen to when I'm happy? Disney music. Favorite tune to listen to when I'm sad? Disney music. Favorite tune to be inspired by and create? Disney music. It's good. It takes you there. Yeah, I can't lie. First thought of the day? Disney. Crazy. Last thought of the day? Disney. I can't even describe how inspired I am by Walt Disney on a daily basis. Here's this man that had the craziest imagination out there, yet he stayed true to who he was. And I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by, my bedroom is Disney. Personal, yes, but that is my bedroom, because that's the first thing I want to see and the last thing I want to see, because to know that you can stay true and follow your imagination regardless of what other people think. I believe that every day is like pinch me. I can't believe that I get to do what I do. I can't believe that people like what I do. And it's very humbling every time. If someone wants me to sign something or they want a photo, it does take me kind of back, because I don't understand it. Like I'm just one of them, but I certainly appreciate it. I meet people in the craziest places, and still, even when they, Tim, I'm like, I don't even think they're talking to me. It's usually Mario that's like, Tim, like they're talking to you, because I'm not in that mindset. But I certainly love those moments that I get to connect with people and the fact that they love the same thing I love, and you have that platform to really share with one another. I'm just like you or anyone else that likes to craft. I just happen to be lucky enough to do it for a living.